Sadashivasamarambam Jnanasambandhamadhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. I welcome you all with my love and respects. Please listen. If you want your skin to be shining, your eyes lit, body radiating the grace and the joy, take responsibility for others' anyakara in both the dimension. If somebody perceives you as cheat and fool, don't be angry. Some way you have not raised yourself, taking the responsibility for what others perceive and what others want. Just makes the life ooze, explode, express. So when they say God is not there, He will never help, and He never helps. And He makes sure He fulfills their anyakara. Go on doing manana. Catch every root thought pattern with which you are suffering. Go on doing manana. Go on doing manana. Let your every decision be out of authenticity and enriching. Not out of anything else, fear or greed. Do not function out of any other cognizance than authenticity and responsibility. First thing, to do the completion, you have to be in your same routine. Every day you have to grease. It is like a lubricating. If you just stop the machine and lubricate, it is not going to help. Machine has to be running and then lubrication has to be done. You can't say, I think machine has become too hot. Come on, let's stop the machine, stop the whole factory and lubricate all the machine and then be standing. Then again when you start, the heat is going to increase. So you have to find out whether the lubrication is strong or not, strong enough or not, using it while it is running. So the completion has to be done as part of your life, routine, not otherwise. Not your failure. Declare your integrity. When you start thinking with integrity, I tell you, you will diagnose your self-fulfilling negative prophecies. When you are about to get into the car itself, you declare you are going to have an accident. Then while you are driving, you train yourself continuously to sleep. Even after that, when the accident does not happen, you just hit one small corner just near the road and stop it. Nothing happens to your car, or you just car has a one line scratch, and you say, see, I told you na, I'm going to have accident. See what happened? The power of integrity will teach you to diagnose the self-fulfilling negative prophecies. Sometimes you take up failure as a self-sympathy creating mechanism. And you think for success you have to work, failure is natural. Success is natural, for failure you have to work. Bring integrity, you will understand success is the natural flow of your life. For failure, you have to work very hard. Because your very lifestyle, Krishna says very beautifully, by the nature, senses are tuned for the extrovert, means to be active, alive and creative. I am giving a different interpretation. Senses are tuned to be extrovert does not need to be understood as negative. Extrovert senses will always be alive, creative, active, contributing. All great creative persons took the responsibility for their extravert senses. Senses are extravert naturally. It flows. Does not need to be negative. It flows means what? By nature they function towards achieving. Naturally they flow towards achieving. It means what? You are programmed by nature to be successful. The natural programming of you is to be successful. Lack of integrity allows the poison of self-fulfilling negative prophecies to grow in your system. I tell you, first thing a human being needs to do is weeding out all self-fulfilling negative prophecies. It can be weeded out only while you are functioning in your routine, not by taking time off. When you take time off, all those weeds will disappear. You will not be able to find them. Only when you are tightly working with your everyday routine, you will discover those self-fulfilling false negative prophecies. How many of you are able to cognize this truth? Try to take off for a few days. All those negative prophecies will hide, disappear, hide themselves into some unconscious patterns. Listen, unfulfilling your everyday commitment will only make the weeds hide behind your unconscious pattern. Vivekananda is very, very clear. Yoga can happen in you along with responsible karma. Karma yoga does not happen without responsible action. Sometime you do actions whole day, but there is no responsibility for it. How many of you feel, authentically cognize, you are stuck with the pattern of action but no responsibility? Raise your hand. Ramakrishna gives a very beautiful example. How much ever water you bring it to your paddy field, if there are too many frog holes, rat holes, all the water will go and settle there. You will not have water for growing the paddy. The frog holes, rat holes, snake holes are only the negative self-fulfilling prophecies. All the energy you bring, all the Kundalini energy I pour, goes and settles there. And finally no water. Neither Kaveri nor Ganga can make your paddy grow. Because 24 hours you are weighed, loaded on negative self-fulfilling prophecies. First thing a human being needs to know, without negative self-fulfilling prophecies, integrity makes you aware of negative self-fulfilling prophecies. There's a very beautiful story in Upanishad. Satyakama, a great disciple. Unfortunately, Satyakama was not given the importance of Nachiketa. I tell you, Satyakama is equivalent, authentic character like Nachiketa. Nachiketa met Yama and achieved enlightenment. Satyakama met life and achieved enlightenment. Nachiketa met death and achieved enlightenment. Satyakama met life and achieved enlightenment. Meeting death seems to be always achievement. That is why Nachiketa became popular. Meeting life is not taken as achievement. That is why Satyakama did not become popular. I still remember one beautiful, very beautiful incident happened. One great Swami Ranganathananda, he was the president of Ramakrishna Math, international president. And when I had the opportunity to have his darshan, he was vice president. He has come to Madras Ramakrishna Math for some ceremony, foundation stone laying for some of their projects. He's a great Advaiti. A great Advaiti in personal life. I was officially responsible for taking care of any sadhus who come to the ashram from outside, from other centers and all that. So he was the vice president. When he came, naturally I am the supplier for all the things needed. Usually vice presidents will come with 3 sadhus who take care of them. But I have to supply all the material needed for the taking care of him from this branch where he is staying. From means Mailapur Math. So I had the fortune or access to him, his room directly. So I will make sure once I enter the room only to keep hot water. Then I will enter the room just to keep the alarm clock. Then I will enter the room to keep the soap. Then I will enter the room to keep the towel. Never I will carry 2 items at a time. Because I can constantly entering the room, and whenever I keep something, I can have one word with him, or I can see what he is doing. He is a great sadhu, a great Advaiti. I can tell from my own authenticity, he is enlightened being. At least when I saw him, he was already enlightened. When he became enlightened, that I don't know. When I saw him, he was living an enlightened life, an amazing life. When I saw him, he was above 90. When he sits in Samadhi, God. I used to think, if I have one more birth, I should be born to a person like him. Such a power of Samadhi. So he was supposed to lay the foundation stone. He was walking from his quarters to that ground inside the campus, but it's a huge campus. If you have seen Mylapore Mutt, you know, huge campus from one end to the other end. From the Kapalishwar temple, Sannidhi street, one entrance to Mandaveli, Ayyappa temple road. From this end to that end, it's a big campus. So he was walking. He will not use walking stick, but he will use the brahmachari's hand as a support to walk usually. So I was supporting him and walking. I said, Maharaj, the puja is getting delayed. Before laying foundation stone, they will usually do puja to Sri Ramakrishna. I was telling Maharaj, the puja is getting delayed. Would you like to walk now itself and do the foundation stone, or should we wait till the puja is over? He said, no problem. Let them continue the puja. I will go and lay the stone and foundation and come back. I just wanted some more words from him. I said, Maharaj, you are a great Advaiti. What do you actually remember when you lay the foundation? Do you remember Ramakrishna? Do you remember Sharada Devi? Do you remember Vivekananda? What do you remember when you lay the foundation stone? He told me very beautifully. Please listen to the answer. He said, I just remove the negative idea. Usually happens, this project will not happen. Whenever you start anything, you always carry that self-fulfilling prophecy, fear this may not happen. He said, I just remove that weed and put the crowbar and it happens. That's all. When I start anything, I just remove the weed, it may not happen. That's all. Finally, we went to the spot. He was not able to lift the crowbar to lay the foundation. So another Swami came, senior Swami. He lifted the crowbar for him. Then the Swami stopped, Ranganathanji stopped that Swami and asked me to lift the crowbar. I said, I am a junior brahmachari. Swamiji, seniors only can do this. He put his hand on my shoulder and said, you put the crowbar. I will touch it. So I was holding the crowbar, he touched, and then actually I laid the foundation. He looked at the other senior sadhu and said, you don't know how many thousands of foundations he is going to lay in his life. History will tell. Of course, that time I did not take his word seriously. I did not take his word seriously. I looked at him and asked, what do you mean, Maharaj? What did you tell? He said, that I cannot explain. But remember one thing, whenever you lay the foundation, remove the weed, it may not happen, and then lay the foundation. That's all. And I tell you, still I do only that. That is why any foundation we laid always became a fort. Always became a fort. My sadhus will be building palaces. My sannyasis are palace building sannyasis, not hut building sannyasis. They may choose to live in hut, but they will build palaces for society. Listen. Integrity, thinking with integrity removes the weeds of negativity. You do not need courage to remove negativity. You just need awareness to remove negativity. Today's whole satsang, I just wanted to give in this one statement, the essence of the whole satsang. In this one statement, integrity removes the self-fulfilling negative prophecies in your life, in your cognizance, in your inner space. When you start something, if you decide to remove the negative cognizance, suddenly you will see the courage to grasp the whole scene of the action you are going to get in. Work not done plus valid reason is not equivalent to work done. Means all valid reasons are invalid in life. This is the interpretation. All valid reasons are invalid in life. Essence of today's satsang, integrity will remove negative cognizance from your inner space. I bless you all, let you all achieve, experience, live, express, radiate, share, explode and enrich with eternal bliss. Nithyananda. Thank you.